So, there's this book, right? It's incredibly popular. You might have heard of it. It's called The Bible. And the star of this show is undoubtedly Jesus of Nazareth. You might know him as Jesus Christ, or the Son of God. In fact, he's more than just the star of this. He is the superstar. In fact, there's even a musical about it. And in the New Testament of the Bible, we hear about places like Jerusalem, a spiritual hub where everybody goes to worship God, and places like Bethlehem, which is obviously the birthplace of Christ. And then we hear places like Nazareth. But Nazareth is a funny one. See, although he is Jesus of Nazareth, indeed the Virgin Mary is Mary of Nazareth, Nazareth is only mentioned 29 times in the Bible at all. Only in the New Testament, never once in the Old Testament. And 17 of those times is just so somebody can say, Jesus of Nazareth. Nazareth at this point is a podunk town. It is where a lot of people are living in caves, never mind houses. But Nazareth was just like friends and family living together. In fact, it isn't even featured on some of the census documents that the Roman Empire were keeping at that time. So why is Nazareth important in any way? Well, it is home to two very significant moments in Christian history. So one afternoon, Mary is just chilling in Nazareth, and all of a sudden, the Archangel Gabriel comes down from heaven, God's right-hand man, and he says, Mary, the duff, you're up it. And she goes, come again? To which Gabriel laughs and goes, ha 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 ha, come. And she says, that's impossible. I've never been with a man. I'm with my partner Joseph. We've never consummated our relationship. How's this going to happen? He says, don't worry about it, love. It's going to be the Son of God, and you're going to call it Jesus. All right? And Joseph, well, I'll send some other angels. He'll be fine with it. And he was, because Joseph's a G. But the Middle East at that time was under Roman rule. The Roman Empire was expanding incredibly quickly, and in order to facilitate control over certain areas, the Roman Empire would assign kings to area. And this is where Herod comes in, and Herod is a bit of a dick. Herod was real quick to just do stabby and not talky. He was not a democratic man. But while Herod was in charge, the Roman Empire ordered a census. In order to do that, they got everybody to return to the town or city of their birth, and therein they could conduct a census to find out just how much the Roman Empire had expanded and how many people there were in towns and cities. Interestingly enough, Nazareth is so small that it isn't even featured on these records. But Joseph wasn't from Nazareth, he was from Bethlehem, and so off they went, strangely enough, just before Christmas. So Mary, full of grace, and at this point, baby, when Mary and Joseph arrive in Bethlehem, they're like, fuck me, this is a bit busy. And they can't find anywhere to stay. And that's where we rather get, the manger and the stable, which I have to say historically is highly unlikely. It is far more likely that Jesus was born in a cave, in actually a grotto. And so Jesus of Nazareth is born in Bethlehem, and all the while the Magi, these kind of weird intergalactic space pirates who love stars and have had a message from God saying, look, it's going to be the King of the Jews. He's going to be born in Bethlehem. You need to go follow the stars. And they're like, all right, we're on our way. And so off the Magi go, and they don't quite make it in time to be there for the birth of Christ, because, well, they're looking for the King of the Jews, and so that leads them to Herod. Herod is the king of the Jews. He's in charge of Judea, and he considers himself very much in charge of everybody in Judaism in that area. So when the Magi, rather unwisely, they go, Herod, we are looking for the child born King of the Jews. Herod responds, you fucking what? And so Herod gets all of his mates in a huddle and says, right, there's been a baby born that they say is King of the Jews, right? So I need you to go to Bethlehem and the surrounding areas, and just any boy under the age of 2, right, done, yeah, cool, we ain't taking any risks. Anyway, yeah, go on, fuck off, I'm trying to buy some weed off these weird space dudes. And so the Magi are like, whoops, so off they go, and they find Joseph and Mary and Jesus, and they give him gold and all the other stuff.
Gold? Frankenstein? And girl.
But Mary and Joseph and the new baby Jesus, cannot stay in Bethlehem. They had to keep moving. And so one would imagine that Joseph pawns all of the gifts he got from the weird intergalactic space stoners, and they go to Egypt for 2 years and hide out there till everything cools down. And after 2 years, they head back to Nazareth, the home of Mary of Nazareth, and now Jesus of Nazareth, and indeed Joseph himself. And then for the next 27 years, from the ages of 3 to 30, pretty much nothing fucking happens in Jesus' life. That's not strictly true. When he's 12, they go to Jerusalem and Jesus hides out there with chatting to the rabbis and says, I wanted to be in the house of my father, but allow it. So within those 27 years, Jesus leads what can be considered a normal village life amongst his half brothers and sisters, family. This was only a few dozen people in Nazareth. And then he gets to 30. And I believe you, at some point, you've got to, if you are the Son of God, if you are one of the Holy Trinity, somebody who is both 100% man and also 100% divine, you've got to at some point be like, am I the Son of God? I think I am. I think I might be the Son of God. And so Jesus goes off to do some things. First thing he does is see his cousin, John the Baptist. John's mental. He's brilliant. John's just grabbing bastards. Just get in here. You're baptized. Got to clear the way for God. God is on his way. John is a messenger. He believes that he's clearing the way for the coming of the Lord. And he's dunking them like the rich tea biscuits. Just come on. Got to clear the way. Oh, hello, Jesus. And one day, Jesus turns up and he's like, hello, John. Turns out I might be the Son of God. And John's like, I fucking knew it. So John grabs him, you fucking dunk you as well. And after he dunks him and he baptizes Jesus, a dove comes down. A fucking dove comes down from heaven. And it's there and it's like, hello, I'm God. I know, a bit less beardy than you thought. And he's flapping about above them and he's like, this is my son. This is the Son of God. And I am well chuffed with him. And Jesus is like, fucking hell, I am the Son of God. I fucking knew it. And John the Baptist is like, I knew dunking these people was right. And so Jesus decides that he's got to go do some stuff. So he goes into the desert for 40 days with the devil who tempts him to do stuff. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. And he's like, you're going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You're going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And 40 days passes and he doesn't fucking do it. And so he starts doing miracles. He starts pissing off all the liquor stores in the local area by turning water into wine. And he heals sick people and blind people. And he does a tap dance on some water, I think. And then he goes back to Nazareth amongst friends and family. And on the Sabbath, he goes to the synagogue and he has passed one of these scrolls of Isaiah. And he stands at the front of the synagogue in front of friends and family. And I'll read it to you now. Unrolling it, he found the place where it is written, the Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. And then he rolled it back up and he sat down, gave it back, and he said, today this scripture is fulfilled in your hearing. Meaning, I'm that guy. I'm the guy. I'm the Son of God. I'm the guy who's going to bring you to the kingdom of God. And his friends and family there in the synagogue looked at him and they were like, fucking hell, that's amazing. Holy shit. Like, that means that we're blessed. We are the blessed people. We're going to find the kingdom of God. And then he said, yes, you will repent and you will be saved. But it's not just you. It's not just Judaism. This is for everyone. This is for Gentiles as well. In fact, I've already been around and I've been healing Gentiles, people outside of our faith. And then Jesus had to look at his own friends and family who he'd lived with for 27 years of his life go, I'm going to fucking kill him. They chased him to the cliff tops in Nazareth and they threatened to throw him off. And this is why it's such a significant moment. The first really significant moment in Nazareth was the Virgin Mary learning that she was going to carry the Son of God. But there can be, in my opinion, no bigger loss of innocence. That is what this is about. Nazareth was the birthplace of Jesus' innocence. He lived there for 27 years, growing up with friends and family, his own half-brothers. But when he expressed that serving this deity, the loss of the innocence of, in that moment, the people who you grew up with, oh no, fuck you. That's a step too far. The realization that by serving his God that he fundamentally believed in his bones, by serving that deity, he can no longer be innocent. And therein lies, I believe, the big parallel between Jesus' loss of innocence in the town of Nazareth compared to the huge loss of innocence that I believe that Vessel is about to go through in the song Nazareth. A God making a deal with them. If you do this, then you will prove yourself to me. Once you have loaded the gun, only you have the answer. Once you give yourself part and parcel, body and soul, to serving a deity, to serving a God, there can be no more innocence. You are entering an agreement, a psychological or spiritual contract, if you like. And in this case, in Nazareth, by Sleep Token, it seems that Vessel is rather signing that contract in blood. So, before we start analysing the music and lyrics of Nazareth, there are a couple of things to note. One is that this music video is not the music video. This isn't meant to be, I believe the music video for Jaws was actually intended in this, and I will do a separate video where the thing will be up there now if you want to watch it when it's posted, where I'll watch it with the Jaws music video behind the song Nazareth. But I'm going to keep that separate as of today. I just want to watch this in its entirety. The music video itself, the artistry of it, I think is less important than possibly some other Sleep Token songs, but we will dive into that on the other video. Anyway, yeah, the card will be up there. You can watch it now, probably, or not. But there are a couple of things that I like people to think of when they re-listen to this. One of them is I would like you to think of the reverbs that are used compared to previous reverbs on EP1 and the beginning of EP2, and also where the voices are coming from. I believe because of some fantastic production work that a lot of this song sounds like it's being sung from behind you, and the pans in this are very important as well. But we shall get to that in a moment. Now, there are very dark themes in this. I believe that this whole video is pretty much a content and trigger warning, but I will endeavor, before I talk about anything which is too extreme, to just give you a little note beforehand if you would like to jump ahead. But with that said, from EP2 by Sleep Token, this is Nazareth. It's just an electric piano with a huge amount of reverb.
And I'll see you when the wrath comes, knocking on your bedroom door with money, building your kingdom, dripping from the open mouth. I'll show you what you look like from the inside. And I'll see you when the wrath comes around.
Before we get into that second verse, there is a huge amount to talk about. Right, okay, so let's talk about the music first. So we get an electric piano with a huge delay on, and as we have had done through a lot of the Sleep Token songs, it's a very patient build-up so far. In EP1 and EP2, there hasn't been any need to really rush the development. We haven't even got to the first album, by the way, the trilogy of trauma, as it's known, Sundowning, Tomb, and Take Me Back to Eden. We're not there yet. We are still laying out the scene for this. But there is something I'd like you to really listen to at the very beginning here, and it's the use of reverb on Vessel's voice.
And I'll see you when the wrath comes.
Here after this, it's a very short slap back up till this point. Now, in my day, there were actual analog. We had fucking analog reverb. Like, admittedly, it was the tail end of it. But up till this point, there has been that very rich Jeff Buckley Hallelujah-esque, swimming, floaty, beautiful, I am almost in between consciousness reverb used on both the electric guitars and indeed the vocals. But with this, George Lever and Vessel have made this sound because of the short slapback, like you're in a bathroom. You will all know immediately when you're in the bath. It's the way that the reverb hits the kind of wet tile and comes back. They're using that reverb on this vocal.
Knocking on your bedroom door with money, building your kingdom, dripping from
It's
the
coming straight back. It's
open
not big.
mouth. I'll show you what you look like.
Do you hear it hit the walls? And it almost feels like it hits one wall and then the echo of that hits some more tiling and it comes across almost in a diamond shape, or a square if you're going to turn it that way on. So the reverb choice is very, very important on the vocal line here immediately, because we are not in Fields of Elation, quiet and loamy. We're in a room and it's very direct. There is that voice behind us. We're going to get to that in a moment.
From the inside, and I'll see you when the wrath comes.
I'll come back to the lyrics in a moment. And there are stops. There are little moments of pulled, we would call it in theatre like a pulled moment, where you just snatch some of the air out of it and then you lay something else in theatrically, for want of a better term. And that's what we get just here as it snatches away the single voice. Then the voice changes. I think it's maybe 5-part harmony, possibly 7, like with some weird like minor fourths or major sevenths in there to try and, but this is harmony. This is multiple voices. It is the head of Medusa, if you like. They're not all in line again. Richer reverb. Haven't had any drums until this little development of slightly distorted digital drums to lead us into the second verse. But before we get there, we need to go back to the lyrics. So let's have a look at these lyrics in the first verse. So one of the things that immediately strikes me whenever I listen to this song, and it makes me go, oh, and I'll see you when the wrath comes. And I'll see you when the wrath comes. It reminds me of like a gangster film. You know, like in a gangster film where you think that you've sorted it with, you know, I don't know, Michael Sheen is cowering in the corner while fucking Tom Hardy is over the top of him, and he's like, yeah, we've sorted it now, yeah? Yeah, we're all good. And as he goes to leave, he goes, and I'll see you when the wrath comes. And... whoa, I thought we were done. No. And I'll see you when the wrath comes. Again, I always like to break these down into an actual monologue. So let's fucking... So if I was just going to give this to an actor as a monologue and I tried to remove all of the musical like inflections that, that Vessel puts in it, and I'll see you when the wrath comes, knocking on your bedroom door with money, building you a kingdom, dripping from the open mouth. I'll show you what you look like from the inside. And I'll see you when the wrath comes around. That fucking changes all of it, doesn't it? And I'll see you when the wrath comes. Suddenly lines like dripping from the open mouth, I'll show you what you look like from the inside. That is the musical kind of construction of the syntax here. But the actual words, when said like that, I mean, how do we take that? Well, let's just take it on merit. And I'll see you when the wrath comes. So there is wrath coming. Wrath makes me think of a godlike vengeance. Wrath, God's wrath, that something is coming. And I'll see you. We'll still be here. Like cockroaches, somehow we will survive. I'll see you when the wrath comes. And when wrath comes and when society is destroyed, you can look up like the historical numbers on this. One of the things the Canaanites dealt with it in Jericho. We'll get to that in the next video. Prostitution, sex work was rampant. When society collapses, sex work, in terms of the amount in society, raises. So I'll be knocking on your bedroom door with money. The implication there is very clear. I want an act from you. I want something from you. Building you a kingdom. That just sounds like love bombing. It sounds like, no, I'm going to look after you. This, by the way, I do believe is the voice of sleep talking to Vessel. This is very much coercion, I think, leading up to a certain point in the song, building you a kingdom. No. I've got you. I'm gonna build you a kingdom. But this line, I fucking love this line. Dripping from the open mouth, I'll show you what you look like from the inside. Because dripping from the open mouth conjures up two things. Obviously, jaws, dogs, salivating. There's loads of reference to canines of the Savior, to teeth of God. So that dripping from the open mouth, that idea, like if anybody who's a fan of boxing or MMA will know, like that the commentators always talk about. They're taking deep breaths, that open mouth. It's towards the end. You're dripping from the open mouth. It's already happened. The damage has happened, or the damage that you've inflicted with your jaw has happened. Dripping from the open mouth can conjure up ideas of saliva, but also, of course, it conjures up blood. So why? Have you been beaten, or is this somebody else's blood? What is in those pretty wide jaws? Your blood or mine. But dripping from the open mouth, I'll show you what you look like from the inside. Now, the first vision here, I think it's like a werewolf, something that's tearing away at you. And while your blood is still dripping from its jowls, that it's teasing you. I'll show you what you look like from the inside while your blood is running from my jaws. But what if it's dripping from the open mouth? Just unconsciousness. Because when you're unconscious, I know, I've drooled on occasion. I'm pretty sure we've all drooled at one point. I'll show you what you look like from the inside. That line on its own is, in unconsciousness, I can bring your shadow up. This is Jungian. I can show you what you look like from the inside. I can bring up all of the stuff that you have buried down here. If you give yourself into me. We're back to fucking Labyrinth again.
Just fear me, love me, do as I say, and I will be your slave.
I'll show you what you look like from the inside, which could be colors bursting like joy, or it could be, black organs. It could be darkness. But I'll show you what you look like from the inside. If you want me to. If you submit to my will. And then the repetition. And I'll see you when the wrath comes around. Not I'll see you when the wrath comes around. That makes me think like it's somebody knocking on the front door. Death. I don't know whatever your idea of the Grim Reaper is, with a scythe or that black cloak over him. But I'll see the idea that that's the wrath. The wrath is going to come knocking at all of our doors when the wrath comes around. And it also gives us a kind of cyclical idea to this. So much in Sleep Token up to this point has been cyclical. We are trying to break the cycle. The cycle must end, the house must endure. So I'll see you when the wrath comes around. Going back to a more spiritual sense, when a deity decides that they have had enough, and so in order to combat that, when you've angered the gods, they bring about God's wrath. They bring about plagues. They turn water into blood, which we've already referenced, of course, already. In the first 2 EPs, fuck me, just brilliant. Fucking love this band. So then we have the repetition, the very sweet sounding falsetto tonight, repeated 3 times. Tonight. And I read this wrong. I stupidly went on, and I fucking hate that there's so many different versions of lyrics across different mediums, but I thought it was you'll have the answer. And if it's you'll have the answer, that takes an entirely different context. Isn't it incredible that an apostrophe and one letter repeated twice can change everything? Because you'll have the answer means, well, tonight you'll have the answer because I'll give it to you. Tonight I'll let you know. You'll get your answer. But the lyrics are tonight you have the answer. Something is in your hands. The answer for what? The answer for wrath? Or maybe the answer that one is internally, the question that we have. Only you have the answer. Or even the third idea, that I will give you something. I will give you a gift. And then the answer is up to you.
Let's load the gun.
That's how that snare comes in.
Make her read the tape in the bathroom mirror. See if she can guess why. A hollow point dust and naked body. Let's fuck her up. Manifest pain at the core of pleasure. I'll see you when the wrath comes.
The way it breathes, such patient songwriting. So, Two's drums here are very complimentary. I actually asked one of Josh Haberfield, who's an amazing drummer, I asked him, does that snare sound out of time to him? And he said it didn't, but there's something about this snare that just, it makes me feel uneasy. We get the distorted digital drums, and then it breathes. No, it's just perfectly in time.
Make her read the tape in the bathroom mirror. See if she can guess why.
So very simple complementary drums by Two here. And it sounds like maybe it's a harp being picked just after Let's Fuck Her Up. Like the vocals are so dark, the lyrics, the idea of, we'll get into the lyrics in a second, but let's both together, let's fuck her up. That, to then have this picked out little harp line over the top of it, almost in juxtaposition. Enya or Bjork. We get instruments dropping. It just sits. The music doesn't do a huge amount underneath. It's just letting the vocal performance and indeed the lyrics stand out. So let's look at these fucking second verse lyrics, which are, I know I've already given content trigger warnings, but there's the lyrics are the lyrics. So verse 2. I'll do a fucking normal reading of it before we think about the musical context. Let's load the gun. Make her eat tape in the bathroom mirror. See if she can guess what a hollow point does to a naked body. Let's fuck her up. Manifest pain at the core of pleasure. I'll see you when the wrath comes around. It's so fucking dark. So let's load the gun. Let's listen to exactly how that is sung as well.
Let's load the gun.
There's a bit of a cry in there, almost like the person who is telling you some manicness, some maniacalness, actually, to that, like a DC villain. So let's load the gun. Let's, like both of us together around this revolver, shoving the things in. But that isn't the voice of Vessel. This is coercion. This is somebody, in my opinion, again, I'm sure by now you don't need me to repeat this all the time. Just my opinion, could be absolute bollocks. I'm just working with the source material here. So let's load the gun. Make her eat the tape in the bathroom mirror. Now that is where this gets into rather a cinematic. This is, I believe that this is the most cinematic of all of the Sleep Token songs that I've analysed so far. So this idea of make her, that's will is being imposed here. In the bathroom mirror, there is the implication of making her watch herself. And again, this is a female character that is being referred to at this point. So this idea of let's load the gun and make her eat the tape in the bathroom mirror. See if she can guess what a hollow point does to a naked body. Let's fuck her. It's gross. It's gross. It's this idea that there is this thing behind you, plotting, all these things that let's do it. Come on. Yeah. We're going to make her suffer. That's fucking dark. So make her eat the tape, not cover her mouth. Make her eat the tape. The idea that that it's being pulled through, like that the Chelsea smile or Glasgow smile, depending on that, it's being pulled through their mouth. This is all just done, by the way. I know for some of people that this might be a little bit upsetting, the visuals of this, but one must analytically go. But this is use of the English language. This is one young man, mask, piano, guitar in his pants. Not in any way funny at this point, but maybe fully clothed at this point. Maybe a big fucking, I don't know, camel hair dressing gown, just to be like John the Baptist. I don't know, but the idea that this is a choice, the linguistic choice, and see if she can guess. How fucking horrible is that? See if she can guess what a hollow point does to a naked body. For those who don't know, by the way, full content trigger warning. At this point, I'm going to talk about what a bullet does to the human body. A hollow point has a tip at the end. I believe it's typically used for self-defense. It causes a lot of damage and doesn't fly through the body. So the idea that actually what a hollow point does to a naked body is rip it to shreds. Fucking hell, man. And this line, I'm going to have to play it. Listen to all the harmonies and the let's fuck her up is the lead melody line, but there's, I think, 3-part harmony very softly, just like there's all these voices, like you're there, perhaps, if I may, on your own. Let's load the gun. There's nobody actually there. It is the voice. It is the I don't know, the deity speaking through you. Let's load the gun. Let's, you and I. That is giving in to a third party. What if there is nobody there? What if there is just the single person? Let's load the gun, make her eat tape. It's like the voices are coming through them. It becomes a little bit more sinister, a little bit more horror film when you think about it in that respect. And then that whole kind of support behind you, those voices that all just appear from the shadows like faces all at once going, let's fuck her up. Ah!
Manifest pain at the core of pleasure, I'll see
manifest pain at the core of pleasure. That's one of the lyrics in all of this, actually, that I find the most difficult to interpret. To manifest pain, to bring about pain at the core of pleasure. But where the fuck is the pleasure in this so far? The only pleasure that one can maybe ascertain is come from this is a perversion, is a sick pleasure, is sadism. Like there is a sadistic air to this, but I do believe that it has been brewing in the last few songs. That "Don't Lie to Me" that we heard repeated over and over again in Calcutta, "Don't Lie to Me," has a very, very aggressive overtone to it. It is a statement, because although it's sung, "Don't lie to me," it's very soft and very, just please don't lie to me. It's a statement, because you can add a couple of extra words to that and it becomes, "Don't you fucking lie to me." That's a threat. So when you juxtapose that now as a threat with this, I can show you what you look like from the inside. Just remember, sunshine, I'm the fucking one in charge here. And if you don't do my bidding to this person, imagine what could happen to you. Fucking hell, it could be so dark. Tonight, You Have the Answer as well also puts the onus on, I'm in charge, I'm telling you what to do, but you have the, oh no, this is on you, baby boy, you've got this, you have the answer. It's fucking, it's gaslighting, it's manipulation. I'm going to go back for a second, and I would like, if you've got headphones on, if you've got anything on, turn it up full now, or just if you can listen to how that voice, "They won't be missing you," and all of these additional voices that are about to come in a second, just pay attention to where they're coming from and where they're floating around behind. We're getting a voice behind us telling us, like somebody blindfolded with tape in their mouths and somebody over their shoulder going, "They won't be missing you. They won't be missing you." It's fucking dark as shit. It's horror movie stuff. If you this production, honestly, this vocal production, every time I listen to it, and that repetition now of "let's load the gun" has become a more central voice. So rather than it being a collaborative "let's load the gun," now it sounds like there is a lead character if you listen to how it's compressed. It's very, that's Pan, that's your voice in the background. Let's load the gun. It's even moved. If you were going to like, I know, pan it forward, it seems like it's sitting right in the microphone, like there is just a voice blankly staring into the screen saying, "Let's load the gun. Let's keep putting the bullets in. Let's load the gun." This part is fucking phenomenal. Sorry, I know I love to wank on about this, but it is really clever. It's right at the front, it's compressed with a bit of distortion on it. Let's load the gun. after repetition. Let's load the gun. We're going to do it. We're getting in the zone. We're getting in the zone. We're getting in the zone. We're going to do this in order to serve my God, in order to fulfill my destiny. But that with, they won't be missing you, just circling around you. Imagine, is that the vessel? Is that the person who is filling the gun? Is that the message that they're getting? They won't be missing you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you do this terrible act. It doesn't fucking matter. You'll be all right. I've got you. They won't miss you. The people in Nazareth who, when you said you wanted to serve me, they all said, fuck you, we're going to throw you off a cliff. No, come to me. They won't be missing you. Or the idea that you are the woman in the chair with the tape around her eyes and her mouth, insinuated naked as well, with just tied up, powerless, with this voice. This is fucking, it's horror movie shit with, they won't be missing you. We can fill you full of lead. We can show everybody what a hollow point does to a naked body. But then they won't be missing you. Fuck. It's disposable. It's that sense of being disposable. It's gross. It's brilliant, but it's gross. Those drums are just playing very straight on 4, no flam, no pickup, whatever. And that, it feels like like tribal drums. So that it's like the beat, just a very simple beat before going to war, before something is about to happen. It feels ominous. There's no musicality to it. It's just on the beat. And now see when the wrath comes. Starts to fade in, all of this repetition, this ritual, this prayer, and then this little... I know I've ruined the drop for everyone. Fuck it, I'll come back to it in a second. But that sounds like something shutting down. There's a few instances where Sleep Token used this. Do you wish that you love me? When he delivers the line, delete, it makes a kind of delete, like it's being dragged into the recycle bin on a computer. With this, we get, it sounds like the computer system shutting down. It sounds like, if you like, the sensors shutting down. Because I believe that this is the moment where you've heard the repetition of, they won't be missing you. I'll see you when the wrath comes. Just load the gun. And there comes a point where you have to shit or get off the pot. And it sounds like shit is about to go down, because in this breakdown, the way I can interpret it musically as well, and there's something I'm going to come to with the cymbals and twos, very, very clever, expressionful playing on the second time round. But this, to me, conjures up this vision. We're in the bathroom. We've had this person tied up, and whether or not that deity, whether or not that second voice, that behind voice, the voice of, I presume, the voice of sleep, telling the vessel, just load the gun. Just do it. Do it. Do this to prove. Don't fucking lie to me. Prove it to me. Prove that you wish to be my one and only vessel, at least at this point. But this is a loss of senses. Everything just shutting down. And perhaps whatever the deity, whatever that shadow is, that shadow fully exploding out of him in the most violent way possible.
The
piano line is the most important thing here, I think. The whole phrase goes round once. Two's drumming here is... I'd like to listen to how he starts to use the china here. I will never be able to unhear that, because the moment I heard it for the first time, it's panned off to the right hand side. I think it's the China that he has just below two of his rides, and when he starts playing there, all I can think of is gunshots. And every time I listen back to this now, when it gets round to the third and fourth phrase, sounds like somebody. Listen to the piano here. Tell me this doesn't make you think horror music. Right. Fucking that little piano bit. It's very Nine Inch Nails, actually. That little two-note interval. I don't know what it is. The octave charm. And in that moment, I believe that this is where Vessel goes from coming back to his senses for a moment, and then this last breakdown doesn't have the musicality, it doesn't have the pomp and circumstance that the first breakdown did with that piano line. It's Something I Can Never Have, actually. I think it's not dissimilar from Nine Inch Nails. If you haven't listened to Something I Can Never Have, fuck me. Go and listen to that in the original version of Hurt. Johnny Cash's version is it's fantastic, but please go and listen to the fucking original, please. So that horror movie piano line leads us into this moment where it's almost like the psychotic break ends and you see, oh shit, do you know what it is? Fuck it, it's if anyone my nerds, if you've ever played the game Fahrenheit, I just downloaded it for it's a PS2 game. Lucas, at the very beginning when he's possessed, he stabs a guy in the toilet, and then he goes to depressed. Please tell me I'm not going mental. Indigo something or other for the Americans.
What have I done?
The opening of the game Fahrenheit is exactly how this makes me feel. In a fucking bathroom, possessed, doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing, but you have to. It's taken over you, and then that moment that you break out of it and you go, what the fuck have I done? And then the depression, the upset, the confusion, the what the fuck have I done? And that's what I believe the second breakdown is. Those two notes. I think just a semitone between them, and listen to the twos drumming. Then we go double time on the crash. A little bit of more franticness. Fuck, what have I done? Jesus. I mean, I could just be talking absolute bollocks. Could be complete bollocks. Hope you realise. But that little synth outro there as well. Flowers. You've got to believe that some of these might be outtakes from the Jaws video as well, which we will get to. I will watch the Jaws video with Nazareth music. Anyway, that's my fucking take. I don't know. There's a load of religious symbolism. There's a load of reasons why. Also, when we're talking about EP2, we move in kind of age order, if you like, from from Kolkata now, to Nazareth, to Jericho. Jericho, arguably one of the oldest cities, well, arguably the oldest city ever. And I've done more research on Jericho than I have done anything else, because I don't believe that the symbolism in Jericho is necessarily about the walls. I believe there's much more to do with the Tower of Jericho. But we will get into that when I do my archaeological deep dive, in Jericho, which is going to be next. Anyway, that's Nazareth. Of course, all of the stuff I mentioned before about Nazareth and Jesus and Christianity could all be bollocks. It could just be that Vessel wanted to take the word Netzer in Hebrew, which is where Nazareth came from. Netzer was the olive tree branch and a sprout that turns into a branch. That could be it. It could be none of this. Could be absolutely none of this. But that's rather the joy of Sleep Token. In case any of you have never watched my videos before, I didn't say at the beginning, but this is just my interpretation. It could be bollocks, but it's nice to have. It's nice to have a band like this who make us so excited about delving into music in this way. Now I have to do the obligatory selling of myself, where you knock on my bedroom door with money, because I have got. YouTube's fucked. None of us are making any money off YouTube now, which is fine, because actually I just really enjoy doing this. But if you do like supporting this, if you do like supporting the deep dives that I do in it, I have a Ko-fi page. You can go there. Listen, free range humans, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't it's if you want to support me, that'd be amazing. You get early access, you get exclusive videos. Obviously this week I'm going to do another video on Nazareth, the music video, but with the music video of Jaws. So Nazareth with Jaws, the music video, which apparently makes a lot more sense. So that's going to be this week. Up now on the screen are all of my Ko-fi members. Now, I thought it would be lovely to have 20. I really did. When I started doing this, on my fucking life, I said to Lauren, imagine if I got 20. I think this week we passed 350, which is still a bit. I'm still trying to deal with that, because the conversations there on my Ko-fi page and on the members only Discord, which you get access to if you become a member. The amount of artists, musicians, fucking people who have much better grasps and are far more eloquent than I am about music and art. Anyway, they're all there. If you want to join, please do be my guest. It is the best way to support me. Also, as I mentioned on some of my streams, if you've never seen one of my live streams before, my Twitch will be here probably. And you can come normally every Friday. If not, it's well posted on my social media. I do deep dives into Sleep Token. Now we're going to start moving into other bands. We're also going to do some viewers' choice stuff. So if you want to jump on one of the streams, you're very welcome. You can find me over on Twitch. Obviously, Ko-fi is the way to go if you want to support me properly. But thank you. The next one will be Jericho. But remember, a bloke wrote this. Just remember, it's a musical theatre production. This is Sleep Token the musical. We're living through it live and in living colour. And obviously this week we lost Ozzy, another icon of the metal scene. I often talk about people we've lost and how important they were in moulding modern music, or indeed modern progressive music. We are living through Sleep Token right now. The gentlemen who make this music, we've been given a gift, and to interpret it for you guys is a gift in itself. So thank you very much. You can like and subscribe and all that stuff. Look, just do what you want. Free range humans. Thank you very much for joining me again. I appreciate it very much. And do the internet clicky clacky things to help me. That'd be great. And if not, cool. Thank you for watching the video. I just appreciate you being here. Anyway, have a lovely week. I'll see you next time.